Well, on the program, I've been talking with another legal practitioner, Barrister Onyekachi Obani, but now we're also being joined by politician turned activist, if I may be quoted correctly. He is the former spokesman of the House of Representatives, Honorable Dino Melaya. Thanks for joining us on the program.
Yeah, the pleasure is mine, but I need to correct that politician turned activist. No, I've always been an activist. I've been running NGOs. Even
well, of course, you
so
came into focus, into public limelight, mostly as a member of the House of Representatives. Your activism is, the activist part of you.
You're retiring me as a politician. I'm still a politician, so maybe you refer to me as a political activist more.
Fantastic. All right, point of correction. Now, I mean, these are people you have interacted with very closely, the members of the House of Representatives. Your colleagues are still there, and of course, Mr. Keyamo himself. But then let's start from the House part of it. As a former member of the House, do you think the House of Representatives intervened in that case properly? If not, how then should they have handled the matter?
Yeah, I will start by saying that the reason why we have probes actually is because of the shortcomings, inadequacies, satanic collabo between the National Assembly and indeed the MDAs. If the National Assembly is saddled with three basic responsibilities. One, the act of legislating. That's the act of lawmaking. Sure. Second is representation. That representing your constituencies and making sure that your constituency gets their fair share of the national cake, as it were. The third, to me, is the most important, which is the oversight function over the MDAs. If the National Assembly, the House of Representatives, and the Senate carry out their oversight function with the fear of God, with every sincerity of purpose, of heart, and commitment, in the first instance, there will be no need for probe. So I want to say probes is as a result of the negative concomitant effect of the lackadaisical manner with which the National Assembly handle oversight functions with the MDAs. Having said that, I would say I'm not very satisfied with the way the issue has been handled, because once you discover corruption, we are in a democracy. And democracy, I will always say, will continue to be government of the people, by the people, and for the people. But as it's been practiced in Nigeria today, especially under this government, is seen as government of the greedy, by the greedy, and for the greedy.
Now, before you continue, because you raised the issue of probes being made necessary because the National Assembly does not handle its oversight functions the way it should be handling. But remember, there were two probes involved in this matter. One, the probe into the fuel subsidy scandal itself, the rot in the administration of the fuel subsidy scheme, and then, of course, the probe into the probe into the activities of the people handling the ad hoc committee's probe. Yeah. So which one of these are you referring to?
To start with, the probe into the activities of oil marketers was a resolution of the House. It wasn't a Farouk Lawan decision. It's a resolution of the House, passed by the House, and these are representatives of Nigerians. So definitely that report of that probe stands. Then looking at the conduct of Farouk Lawan as an individual is also a different issue. But my problem is this. Last week, we even tweeted that we were supposed to occupy the Federal Ministry of Justice. We were supposed to occupy it last week, Tuesday. But we shifted it because the minister was not on seat. We were going to occupy the place, and we promised we were not going to leave until the Minister of Justice and Attorney General of the Federation come out to explain to Nigerians why this issue have not been prosecuted. And at this point, I beg to disagree a little or differ with Festus Keyamo that the issue is not about Farouk Lawan alone. It's not about Farouk Lawan alone.
Uneasy lies the head that wears the crown.
An investigation was conducted by the Nigerian police, the Special Fraud Unit. A report of that investigation has been given to the Minister of Justice and Attorney General of the Federation. We expect a prosecution. If there can't be bribe without a giver. And in this case, to the best of my knowledge, because I've gone through books, anywhere you're talking about sting operation, as Otedola put it, there must be evidence. There must be evidence. I
That it was a
expected,
sting operation.
if it was a sting operation, I do expect that before Farouk Lawan left the vicinity of Otedola, he ought to have been arrested with that evidence. Today, there's no evidence. Farouk Lawal is guilty, from my own myopic point of view. Farouk Lawal is guilty. Otedola.
He is not guilty until a court of the law declares him guilty.
I'm not a court, but I'm saying from my own point of view.
He is guilty.
I'm saying that the both of them will have to be prosecuted and let the court determine if there was a sting operation or not, who is guilty or not guilty. But the truth of the matter is this whole thing is as a result of failure of governance, ineptitude in leadership, because if we have a president that is committed to the fight against corruption, he ought to have prompted the Attorney General of the Federation to prosecute this matter earnestly.
That is, I'm sure that's
Honestly.
that's the reason the president appointed him in the first place. I mean, it doesn't.
And that is the more reason. I'm sorry, I'm not cutting you short. And this is also buttressing and elucidating the point that we are making, that the office of the Attorney General of the Federation must be separated from the Minister of Justice. Because you cannot be an appointee of Mr. President, a PDP carrying member, and at the same time prosecute in public interest and not be biased. If we had Attorney General of the Federation, who is not a politician, who is not an appointee of Mr. President, this matter would have long been in court and even by now decided.
Well, okay, fine and good. You can't be the judge in your own case.
Very
That's
well.
what you're saying.
Very well.
I'm sure you're talking from experience, but just hold that thought. I'll come back to you, Barrister Obani. Well, we've heard from the two lawyers, Festus Keyamo, the one who says he will prosecute Femi Falana, excuse me, point of correction. He will prosecute Honorable Lawan and, of course, the senior advocate Femi Falana, who actually buttressed what Keyamo was saying, essentially, that the Attorney General ought to have taken action concerning this matter. But then, of course, Keyamo said if the Attorney General does not take action, he will take action. What will be your take on that?
Well, he has cited authority. I'm very happy with, Mr. Keyamo for bringing this matter once again to the front burner. I said it before on channels, if you could remember, there was a time I appeared before the channel in the morning, and I said the issue that came up, the bribery scandal, was not to probably rubbish Farouk, but to rubbish the report that he wrote. The report he wrote concerning the fuel subsidy scandal was very comprehensive, far-reaching recommendations were made, part of which was even for NNPC to refund certain amount of money to the federal government, remember? And I said no money will be refunded. And I said it here, it was on television. It was my two brothers and sisters that interviewed me in the morning. I said, watch my mouth, no money will ever be refunded, nobody will ever be prosecuted. That is, involved in that. People that are really the big boys. And it was the report they were after. And that's why there's no prosecution that taking place against Farouk Lawal and all. They wanted to rubbish the report, which they have succeeded in doing. Now, if my brother Keyamo is raising this issue now, I don't think it's right for him to only, probably include, Mr. Farouk, and leave Otedola in the matter. As Raleigh pointed out, if you're talking about sting operation, there must be evidence of the material, what was used, to commit the offense. Now, did you inform any police the time you were carrying out your sting operation? Did you inform any security agency? Nobody was.
I actually thought that the sting operation actually involves the police because, the security agencies,
that was done.
An individual, a private individual can't carry a sting operation.
Beautiful, but from that particular report, it was a private individual that started, initiated, and concluded the entire thing. And let me tell you what happened. There was an agreement to remove Otedola's company's name from the list. His list was included. Very well. The man went back to the house. We are all Nigerians. Now we should be intelligent. I went to university. I went to a very good university. And I went to school. So if anyone comes to deceive me, I cannot be a mugu. I know what goes on in this country. His name was in the list. He went to this man and said, remove my name. The man went back to the same house. We all saw it in channels. Yeah. And told the house one thing or the other. And then the company's name was removed. He was not asking for the balance of his money. Yeah. The man now being a smart man and said, look, this man cannot put back that name. And it's not possible for Farouk to go back and say, gentlemen of the house, put back Otedola's company's name into the list again. It is impossible. Humanly speaking, it is practically impossible. And the man said, look, why will I pay this man this amount of $620,000? That is a whole lot of money. And so the man wants to walk away. He now comes up with the issue of sting operation that he was taping him and all. That was, you know, I mean, I came on channel, I said this particular, if there is any evidence whatsoever against Todala, and let them go to court. They should not be bringing this matter, you know, to public. We are not court of the land. We cannot judge this matter.